Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2, where it is a time of great frustration within our kingdom. Basically, I left everything undefended because I thought everyone was too smart to come after us. But clearly, I have overestimated the minds of the living. That's alright, we're going to teach them all a lesson. Everybody in the east is going to see what happened over here in the west, and they're going to be too smart to come after us. I have faith in them. So let's start by spending... We have a skill point. Why do we have a skill point? Because Robert hasn't hit max level yet. Yeah, that's what we need, is for Robert to be even better. I do think that I probably should have split up Silostra and Robert at some point. There's no sense in having two weapons of such incredible power in the same army. We really... At this point, whatever. The other armies have figured out their stuff, but Robert could have helped one of the other armies out quite a bit. Alright, we have unassigned skill points on Eve Hodgson, who, geez, I don't know, cheaper pirate coves? We're not really establishing a lot of pirate coves anymore. Yeah, alright, give me an extra 8% chance to wound, in case that's a thing that I need. And then she should just, like, mess with rats, I guess? She has other stuff she could be doing, but not right this second. He also doesn't actually have any movement. Alright. So my plan was to rush over to Blacklight Tower and get into a war with another person. I'm going to admit, partially this desire was driven by frustration. I'm real angry. So hold on. We're going to hold on that. Let's go figure out other stuff here. Beach is large enough that you can land around the High Sentinel. Can I make landfall without... Yes, I can make landfall in normal movement mode. Both these armies are in full health. Alright, full health, right? Okay. So right now, the High Sentinel has 6 troops, but Skrulk has 20, and Trab has very, very little in the way of effectiveness. Although, I will say there's something to be said for even low health units of artillery, because we have a little bit of trouble getting to them in this army. That really is the primary strength of Robert being in another army, is that that army would also have a single cavalry unit. Because right now we're very slow moving. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to approach this situation. Do we just land nearby and let them come to us? Probably.
What is your demand?
I'm a little worried about Lord Skrulk. His army is actually pretty cool. Also, like, fast-moving, skilled melee troops that aren't reliant on armor is a real counter for us. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna deal. This is scary.
No, you failed. The seas are my domain.
Alright, let's make landfall somewhere near, but not actually in reinforcement range. And this is not all landable. There's a lot of cliff here, a lot of low cliff. So we should be able to make landfall over here. Although it looks like it's not going to let me. Like, there's definitely beach over here.
Sails up.
Nope, it just... When told to land, he just turns around. Alright, well, I guess we're going to the Monument of the Moon? We'll get back on land over there because this beach is not landable for some reason. You two should stay together, though. So that they don't get any ideas about coming into the ocean and having at us. The only thing you can do with a settlement is establish a pirate cove there, which is not really what I want. What am I going to have Viola do? I'm going to have Viola dig for treasure, that's right. Where is the northernmost treasure on this side? The dragon? Okay, no, there's this. So that would be using this like bunch of islands on the map to judge. Like over here somewhere. Looking for big skulls. Could be that big skull? Probably that one. It looks like all of the terrain there is impassable, though. Well, we'll head in that direction. See if we can figure it out.
Off deck! Move!
Okay, so...
No prey, no pay.
Burke's army is kind of torn up, as is Peggy's. Actually, you know what? Let's fall back and do a little bit of replenishment first. Plus, Karen Carr is about to rebel. We should have somebody in place to do something about it. God, it's nice to have good replenishment rate.
It shall be done. Setting sail.
Let's grab something to cap out the army. So Burke is going to be mostly back in a single turn. The Hulks will need a little bit more. Right. The Rebellion army is going to spawn right outside of Karen Carr. We are in good position to deal with it. It won't attack Karen Carr on the first turn because of the walls and stuff. I don't think that a rebellious army can take a 9-unit walled settlement on the first turn. And then we have some money left over, with which we could certainly build some more stuff. Alright, Pahawks, the Floating Pyramid, and the Monument to the Moon all have proper walls. Build a money-making building here. We gotta get our High Sentinel back, obviously. Man, what would I build in Pahawks? I guess it doesn't have an actual garrison building, which apparently might be necessary. And from there, just like recruitment stuff, I guess? Honestly, if there's a Great Altar of the Necrarchs here, then we can do 2-turn recruitment of Necrofex Colossi as far south as this. That's probably worth doing. We gotta get more of those into our armies, because those things are great. I don't know if they're actually good in like a combat effectiveness sense, but they're great in a lot of other senses. We might need to just try to put together another army somewhere on the north side of Ulthuan for the moment. Huh. Why is this... This should be a total blowout in their favor. This balance of power bar is wrong. I'm going to auto-resolve here in the hopes that it will, yeah, completely mess up their troops for no reason. But this should have been almost flawless for them. I don't understand that result at all. Well, it makes my life easier. Very strange thing. You know, units that have any damage on them at all fare so poorly in the auto-resolver. Yeah, I think we're going to have to actually take these guys up through the Monument to the Moon, which is annoying, but something about that coastline seems to be inhospitable. Vampires refuse to land there. So we do need to try to get the money together to have a 6th army running constantly, because apparently we just need we need more ability to project force. Probably it is best in the south. I think our actions in the north are going to be very limited for a little bit here. There's too many enemies from too many directions. We need to solidify one of the sides of this war. A two-front war is such a bad thing. We need to solidify one of the sides of this war and then turn our full force on the other. But unfortunately, that looks like it's going to be a long-term sort of task. Especially if I have to keep sending people back to Ulthuan. Fortunately, with the Raised Dead and everything, we can raise an army on Ulthuan pretty quickly, but an army on Ulthuan pretty quickly isn't really that great of a solution, when the problem is that 5 enemy armies are all going to land on the same turn from a variety of different directions, you know? And unfortunately, due to the curse of the sword, we cannot rely on anybody anywhere being friendly with us for any period of time, except for, I guess, the other pirate nations who don't mind a big sword. Why does everybody else have such a problem with my sword? Alright, so a rebellion has spawned. We will We will trivially wipe it out. This is not a real problem. People are gaining their sea legs. Alright, let's start with Silastra. Silastra's turn is pretty straightforward. It is ride toward the enemy. I suppose there's no reason, really, for her to be in March mode, since March mode gives her almost no extra movement at all. I'm going to... Let's see, do we want to ride all the way over here, or do we want to be in, like, interception mode for Malekith? Yeah, I guess it makes sense to ride all the way over here. She has 16 population on her ship, which means that maybe we ought to make some upgrades. There might be an upgrade worth making. First of all, I will dig for treasure. Every time the ship stops, the crew has to dig.
Bring me my drought.
If I let them have a day without digging, they'll forget how. So I've been pretty reluctant to upgrade this.
These perversions shall hear.
It's still only like 300 gold per turn, right? Like the 5% upkeep reduction is a tough sell. What else could we put in? We could put in a big anchor. Doesn't really seem that great. We could install this thing. We don't spend a lot of time defending, though. Missile damage up for my artillery is fine, I guess. You're recruit rank 2. Melee defense up for everyone when defending. Extra uses of my cannon abilities that really don't do that much damage. Yeah, that building just doesn't seem like it's any good at all. Here, I guess I don't have all of the recruitment structures. We could put in a melee building so that we could get depth guard, but I have a hard time imagining wanting to recruit melee that aren't Sirens at this point. I guess a Terrorgeist, that's a thing we don't have that could be neat. I may as well have something in the slot. Sure, let's get the beast building.
Captain, on deck.
Alright, you are headed in this general direction. Boy, you really have quite a bit of movement. So yeah, I guess the idea is we get as close to the skull as possible and then dig, maybe like over here by the ancient city. What's your deal? You don't actually hate me that much. Can we have a chat? Can we have a chat like about how we could be better friends? What if I had one friend? Apparently I haven't actually formally met them yet, because they would appear in this section. They're clearly Tomb Kings. Alright, we'll have to hold off on that. Empire Coast has some problems with me, as you might imagine, although rapidly improving. I think that probably is going to turn around when I continue to war with Clan Pestilence. They have some strong feelings about Clan Pestilence for some reason. Alright, what about the other one? Yeah, Peggy's army's actually in full health. I feel a little bit more secure having them do the auto-resolve here. Just instantly go back to full health. You know what, we're gonna go back to full health anyway.
Rule the night seas.
We got a Trickster's Shard, which is pretty not awesome. Yeah, also, she just needs like a bunch of the basic, Ooh. Well, let's get this first. She needs a bunch of the basic Lord traits still. It's important she wins some battles. Yeah, I guess we'll just head down here. Taking Blacklight Tower immediately might not be the most important thing. I'm going to turn off taxation in this province as well. We cannot afford taxation here. Alright, so you guys are doing that. Pushing the Dark Elves back out of our lands. Over here, we have some problems. Tim Fenn is a pyromaniac. Everybody knew it. Yeah, alright. Let's just go back through the Monument of the Moon. This will give us the opportunity to get near Pahuax, which has a battle marker from our earlier battle against Clan Pestilence. So we might be able to pick up something neat from the Raised Dead pool.
Three sheets to the wind. Fallen deckhands.
Okay.
Your orders.
And you... what do? You assault units. Yeah, sure.
Come for your treasure.
Just mess with their stuff. I don't think it's super valuable to assault the units that are in the settlement. because they're gonna replenish so much more. But we can try to lay out this army, just keep them from building back up. Although it's actually extremely not working. Look at how much. Look at the replenishment percentage on these. It's ridiculous. All right. Well, I guess she's getting XP at least. That's something. Do I want to... Let's see. Both of our other legendary pirate lords ended in March stance, right? Yeah. So no upgrades there. Our Enlek should have a proper garrison building. We still have some moves we can make here.
The dark ones are nothing.
Mistnar being this close to other players probably does need actual defenses. At some point, the Bretonnians are going to decide that it is worth coming over here to fight me. That is going to happen. Right now, they're busy, but that may not always be the case. Alright, so Malekith lands and runs in the other direction, which is just pure cowardice. Pure, uncut, dark elf cowardice. The most powerful force in the universe. Yep. Cowardice. The good news is that army's too screwed up to actually win a battle anymore, probably. So we may not have to worry about them. I do have to take back the settlement, though, because otherwise we're going to start having rebellions and stuff. Like, we gotta make sure we are still in control. Wow, really? Okay, well... So they destroyed our walls, and then they spent one of their powerful single-use heroes to damage all the buildings in the settlement. And the thing is, we don't have any chance of winning this. Like, not even a little bit. But once again, it kind of looks like the auto-resolve bar is going to give, or the balance of power bar is suggesting that it may give me a better result than we could possibly achieve by ourselves. So I will accept your offer. Yeah, that's absurd. There's no way that should have happened. I see that the auto-resolve balance, the auto-resolve bias against Skaven is still alive and well. We're going to fight those guys manually with our actual armies, but I don't really want to sit through a bunch of one-sided, hopeless battles with terrible garrisons where they just wipe us out. We can fast-forward through that stuff. So yeah, this Cause Earthquake thing, they have a right that summons a special hero who gets one use of an ability that completely screws up a settlement's buildings, and then the hero dies when they use it. There's a bunch of factions that have single-use heroes that are summoned by rights. I'm a little surprised they didn't just take the settlement, though. I guess they wanted to get back and defend the other settlement they'd stolen from me, but that means that that attack was basically of no value to them, and they lost a bunch of stuff doing it. It's hard to imagine sacking a settlement being worthwhile when your empire is as large as theirs is. The reason you sack a settlement is because it's an immediate gold infusion, but they must be incredibly rich, holding as much land as they hold. Okay, we're gonna do this thing again, huh? Well, I guess we're gonna just try to wound that character out, because I don't want to deal with this nonsense anymore. No more letting enemy heroes just follow me around and fail to wound me. So they they flee in both directions. This is pretty annoying. The Dark Elves like take a settlement and then flee in every direction, so that I have to spend a turn retaking the settlement, and then I still have to chase them around. But you know what? I think we're going to go after Malekith right now. He made the mistake of stopping in my movement range. Let's put this fool away. I don't know what trait you get for defeating Malekith, but we're about to find out. And I'm sure this army is worth a tremendous amount of gold. Do we want to manual this? It looks like it's going to go down pretty easily, and honestly, this battle is going to be pretty similar to a lot of battles we've fought before. But you know what? It's fun to play. It's fun to play with Silostra's army. Ridiculously powerful. Now, ridiculously powerful and fun aren't necessarily the same thing, but she's powerful in a way that is fun. So we do have to watch out for their Black Guard of Nagarond, because they are pretty powerful anti-large troops, and so I would not want them to get all around Silostra. But honestly, Silostra is pretty tough. That sword has given her powers beyond the fact that she already was maybe the greatest sorcerer lord I've ever used. I think the elves really screwed up by bringing that sword to me. It was maybe the worst misplay imaginable. Oh, looks like our Necrofex Colossus is about to hit rank 7. Start getting buffs from that veterancy skill. I don't remember what that particular veterancy skill does. Oof, I will say this terrain is very bad for me. So he has, what, 1 or 2 bolt throwers? I've already forgotten. Obviously, we're not going to gamble. Yeah, this terrain is downright horrible. Start over here. His army has basically no ranged. So I feel pretty comfortable starting way back here. We'll be kind of in the middle. Yep, all the artillery is within his range there. Robert could actually start up here, hidden in the trees. We'll let the enemy advance on us a little bit, and then we will handle them. Let's have the polearms over on this side. The normal depth guard, I guess, over on this side, and then all the sirens over here. They do currently have Vanguard deployment because of the Cursed Mist, right? But I don't want to Vanguard deploy them. Alright, so let's reposition these troops the way they actually should be positioned. With the depth guard ready to defend with the polearms in front. And actually, you know what? I kind of want to... I want to pull the sirens back to the gun line a little bit. They shouldn't be so far forward. Alright, Tim. Throw on your ballistics and let's do the thing. So what do we care about the most here? Where should the Queen best be aiming? I suppose, honestly, the Bolt Thrower crew is the only thing that's going to deal any actual damage to me with their extreme lack of ranged. Bleak Swords are not very scary. Dread Spears are not very scary. Blackguard are the next most dangerous thing. And then we'll throw out a good old Norse Roar here. I may have overestimated their movement speed. It did keep them all in place for the artillery shot, though. Yeah, that was okay. Yeah, we'll be alright. As always, we're going to wait for them to actually enter melee range, or gunfire range, before we spawn anything. May as well just reload the Queen Bess now, try to keep that buff on. Okay, here comes the cool part. Although the part where the Necrofex Colossus has been shooting at them the whole time is also cool. You see Tim getting his shots in there. This is my favorite part. Okay, I was kind of hoping they would like all open up as a thing together. There we go. There we go. It begins. Alright, Silostra, get in there. Let's make this happen. So crabs all the way across. Malekith himself wants to fight? Okay, I'll do that. Oh, hey, he put all my stuff on cooldown. That is a jerk-ass ability right there.
Yes, master.
Get him, crabs. So all this purple glowy stuff, the Dark Elves have a buff that they gain, I think automatically. I don't think it's even a thing they activate. It just happens. When enough people have been... I think it's when they have gotten enough kills during the battle. They get this buff that just increases all their stats considerably. Turn the Queen Bess on those guys. And it makes them all glow purple. So that's what purple glowing is. But honestly, it seems like it's not going to be that relevant here. I have the artillery fire directly into the group of knights. The knights are almost dead anyway. And the Necrofex Colossus be aiming for anyone in particular, or just kind of generally shooting cannons at people? Yeah, shoot at those guys. Alright, and then we have a Norse Roar available again. I don't know, right there. That seems fine. Just you wait until my sword gets back off cooldown. Oh, hey. Celostra, don't get distracted now. Malekith is trying to flee on his dinosaur. That's pretty cool, though, that he gets to ride a dinosaur. He's actually doing a really good job of fleeing on his dinosaur. See, him putting the sword on cooldown actually worked out really well for them, because the sword can only the sword's cooldown's only running when she's actually engaged in melee, and they did such a good job of putting it on cooldown and then fleeing at full speed from me. I haven't really gotten a lot of use out of it. Yeah, she's not going to catch him. I don't run toward Dark Elves as fast as they run away from everything. So that looked like it was basically 0 casualties, 12 losses, probably all of them to artillery. No, actually the artillery didn't get any kills at all. That's embarrassing. So, 125 kills on our Necrofex Colossus. He's got to be close to leveling. Sirens are rapidly headed toward gold ranks, which is nice. I don't even remember what Silostra's veterancy buffs are at this point. I just know that she has some. So hopefully whatever trait we get for killing Malekith is cool. So given that we had to run all the way over here, I guess it might be best to go to the Shrine of Cain and retake that before going to reclaim the other thing. Also, really, only 855. I guess the ransom is okay. 10% income from raising... and Frenzy on Silostra. Yep, that's alright. Yeah, I guess we'll just go get the Shrine of Cain back. We can retake the other settlement afterward. Okay, so yeah, just straight north. Excuse me. Straight north is the path. Silostra is going to reclaim this. I think these guys are leaving, right? It's just a couple of characters and their artillery. And you're going to have a hard time actually taking a settlement. Is there an unwalled settlement along the coast? All the way down in Elisali there is. We could fix that. We're actually high enough on stuff here that I could afford to demolish that and put in the building there. Public order will be maintained.
On deck.
So we might be able to dig this from the north near the skulls.
On my
Let's have a look. Also, I kind of want to formally meet that Tomb King faction. Although, actually, that was their building, so it looks like they might not exist for very much longer. There are battle site markers everywhere, which is really nice. So they're continuing to run around, but like they aren't really recruiting or anything.
The seas are my domain.
So how do we want to do this? Do we want to go to the monoliths? What is... Vortex Column is the actual seat of this province. Where is the Twisted Glade? Oh, the Twisted Glade is that port all the way down there. This guy has 9 settlements, is that right? That's the wrong button. Which rat clan are you? Rictus, 11 settlements. So a war of elimination is like a serious undertaking. However, it looks like it's mostly a serious undertaking in the direction of Nagarond, which we do... I mean, that's the direction we're headed anyway. And if we don't take them all out, they're just going to make my life hell. Yeah, this is a problem. We also really, desperately need to get another level of building space in Karandakar. Well, not much to be done about it for now. I suppose let us move on toward the Blacklight Tower, complete our province, and then start fighting all this stuff. How far can I move in normal movement mode? I do get to the other side of the forest, so I am most of the way through the forest. This is enough that we'll be able to get out. Actually, you know what I should do is I should have... Come on, selector. There we go. Where's Peggy run? Where does Peggy run down to? Here we go. Alright, so I'm going to put her in the forest where ambush chance is high. 95%. Put her in ambush mode. Then we're going to have Burke stop within her ambush circle. And just go into building mode, because I'm sure there are ship upgrades that could be made for him. We actually would need a little bit more population to install a new building type, but we could just cap out his captain's deck, which will increase his growth. And yeah, this is probably the right move to make. His ship will be good soon. It's not very good right now, but it'll be good soon. And I think we're gonna do the same thing here, right? Let's grab. Oh no, you're both at 20. Yeah, we're just gonna move forward just enough for you to be able to go into ambush mode. I want to be. Oh, actually, it looks like is ambush success chance actually affected by the terrain on the individual space? 80%. No, maybe it's just affected by the what the terrain of the region is felt to be. So we could ambush with pretty good success chance just out on the open road. I'm hoping we can bait them into trying something here. Because if the ambush works, they will feel that they have superior numbers. Alright, you guys are close enough to reinforce each other. Yeah. Donald also definitely needs some basic ship upgrades. His growth rate is terrible because his cabin is bad, so we gotta make sure we get that dealt with. We can repair the floating pyramids. Yeah, the floating pyramid got earthquaked back down to not even being a settlement anymore. Well, we need growth in the region again. We also need money. We actually have the population surplus. We don't really need growth. I'm just going to build the money building.
Fleet captain reporting. Fear us.
Okay. Here's hoping that they fall for all of my extremely good ambushes. Also, I cannot believe Lothern is still alive. It is so frustrating to me that I have not had time to run down there and finish them. It does almost seem like all of the forces of the West combined to make it difficult for me to finish the job here. Do I want to take peace with her for a moment? No, she still has provinces, she still has regions on my land. No, I had to take all that stuff down. What is this? This is Satilla against Misnar. Let's try fighting this manually. I wonder if we could actually beat them. The fact that they're entirely characters is pretty weird. Yeah, let's give it a shot. I'm not sure how this is going to go because our army really, our settlement garrison here is really not great. But it definitely is in the best interest of the Ultuan as a whole for us to do as much damage here as we can. I have a hard time, like, we don't have anything that's actually going to be able to beat a reasonably difficult melee lord, and I'm not really sure how the Dark Elf heroes work. These two look like they're just wizards, but I don't know what the rest of them are. They have Okay, they have no ranged units except for the artillery. None of these heroes have ammo bars. So the deck droppers want to start as close as possible and just start having at the artillery immediately. Oh man, I get Vanguard deployment for my bloated corpse. This Rite of the Mist is pretty okay. Gunnery mobs just spread out real thin. He's marked as a wizard, but he doesn't actually have any spells, so that's a little not ideal. Okay, one of their... Can we please get the icon out of the way? See, the icon is trying to like cover up the ammo bar. That's very annoying. So, that hero does have an ammo bar, which is bad. Should attack those guys from that direction. You just charge them and see if we can... Maybe we go at the artillery crew. And if one of their melee lords... If one of their melee heroes wants to get up on me, then I guess that melee hero gets hit. Nope. Stupid ranged guy. Stupid invisible ranged guy who wasn't there. Okay, so we gotta move forward a little bit. We do not have the range advantage in this fight. I gotta move forward until I get rifles on them. Yeah, get them, deck droppers. We're slowly getting them. Deck droppers are bad. Okay, apparently we gotta get even closer. I would love to stop and, stand and fire as soon as that is an option. It doesn't matter. We're going to be so shredded by then. They know what's up and they are using the same strategy that I like to use. Actually, we're never going to get that shot. Never mind. You help with that. And as soon as the rifles are in position to fire, we sing the shanty, but it's not going to matter. We're doing some good damage against their artillery, though, and that's important. Yeah, try to get rid of these artillery groups as quickly as possible. We're doing important damage that will matter for the rest of the island. Really love it if you could just finish them all the way off. Once their army is nothing but characters, they don't have the range advantage anymore. I think things are going to be a little different. Okay. Let's finish those guys. Try to make sure all of the artillery guys are dead. Okay, the settlement is lost, but we've done some fine work here. We could temporarily rehire Samuel. Not Samuel, obviously. Samuel's dead. He was dead before, but he's dead again, and this time in a way that matters. But we could hire a new Samuel. Flying units alone cannot hold the ground. I mean, my flying units were dead before my land units were dead, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. We still have land units, in fact. Okay, so I destroyed 2 of their artillery units, and I severely weakened the 3rd. Although it looks like it's going to pretend that those guys survived, even though they definitely didn't. Well, they'll still enter battle with that little health. They'll still enter battle with only 1 actual bolt thrower in their unit, which will significantly reduce their the danger they pose. Yeah, I think we'll probably rehire a new lord, maybe down in Elisali, just to move Salostra's quest forward while picking up some garbage troops. Because a bunch of these are just going to be basically undefended settlements that they're taking from us. We don't need to actually fight or anything. I just need it to be the case that Silostra doesn't have to stop and reclaim an empty settlement 10 times while running along the coast, because she has other things she could be doing. So our ambush with Peggy was foiled. The other ambush hasn't been yet. Nope, never mind, it was foiled. Man. We have such good ambush chance, too, in the trees. What on earth are they doing? He moved forward to position to support an attack. Then Skrulk moved out of the settlement, moved back past the settlement, and then the other guy ran back. That's a very strange... You would kind of expect the AI to have decided what their plan was before making any moves, wouldn't you? I guess the Skaven had a sudden attack of desire to survive. Are you serious? The dwarves and their allies, their military allies, the von Karsteins and the vampire counts, have declared war on me. What in the hell is happening over there? And this is part of why I think Mortal Empires is really cool, because stuff like this can happen in this game, you know, just events unfolded such that the dwarves and the vampires became best friends. Man, I kind of wish I had been a part of the stuff happening over in the east. It seems like some interesting things have unfolded. Also, why did they declare war on me? I'm not proximal, like... How are they expecting this declaration of war to change their fortunes or mine? Maybe it's a ceremonial thing. They're all just gonna, like, declare war on me together to, reinforce their friendship. Oh, hey, look, that person has enemies, and they're the same enemies as my enemies. I guess we're going to be best friends forever. These Dark Elves we're not actually at war with. They hate me, as does everybody else. But we're not actually at war with them. It does seem like part of the penalty for having taken the sword is that I'm going to have to kill every living thing in the entire world. To be honest with you, it wasn't my plan, but at this point, I am learning to accept it. I am coming to terms with the idea. Yep, all of our... Okay, everything... Yep, everything's happening everywhere. Hooray! Route Marcher! They really should just take that out. As long as Route Marcher exists, it will be the objectively correct choice to take with every single lord all the time.
No, Gracie, never wrong.
Fleet captain, reporting.
Go and... we could try to wound out that hero. Yeah, okay, 57%. Alright, that should weaken them a little bit. I guess gain more ability to assault units? Our vampire fleet captains have turned into combat support heroes so quickly. So we could go after this, right? They're pretty messed up. They do have their full complement of artillery available, but Skrulk would be coming into this battle as reinforcements. Both of their armies are exhausted. The garrison is Night Runners, which are basically just dudes with slings. Fast guys, but fast guys with slings. And a bunch of really, really boring normal rats. I wish we could swing through Pahuax and get access to the cool raised dead pool before coming down here for this battle, but there's not really a way to do that. I think we're pretty likely to attack this turn. Let's manage the rest of our stuff first. So, Viola.
Good. I hunger.
I almost forgot to put her down. So Viola kind of has all of the stuff that is relevant at this point. Yeah, I guess we could start picking up magic in case she ever actually comes to be in an army. She could have access to the cool spells of the deep. Because the deep school is pretty neat. I don't think it's like the most powerful school of magic or anything, but it has some real cool stuff happening. This should be completely trivial. Just reclaim the Shrine of Cain real quick here.
Take it for me.
I do have to own all this stuff.
There's potential.
What am I doing with you? You know, the boost income trait might actually be relevant because we are spending a weird amount of time running around in my own territory. Shrine of Cain needs upgrades. Tordrenal. You know, I'm going to save the population. I'm not going to upgrade Tordrenal. We're instead going to upgrade the Shrine of Cain again immediately as soon as that is possible. And for right now, do this. Back on public order. So I guess there's a raised Deadpool thing here. Let's pull in. Well, hold on. Let's recruit a lord this turn in Torkorali to fix this stuff, but let's do that after we do our combats, so that we have money.
Serve for eternity.
So Peggy, there's no sense in running around with an empty slot in your army. Just go ahead and get a bloated corpse, and then let's go take the Blacklight Tower. So the Blacklight Tower actually has some reasonable defenses. You're definitely going to have to take this somewhat seriously. And yeah, I think I'm going to declare war, because they're going to declare on me anyway, right? Well, now I'm at war with Clark Herod.
Move, you spineless bags.
Oh, somebody should be doing fire damage. I don't know, one of you guys.
Avast and draw your blades.
Siege them up and get you in. Man, that this like chariot with the giant statue of Cain on the back is way too large. Like really way too large. I have a right available. Oh, just that. Let's not worry about that. Okay, let's do this thing. So, what are we up against? They have a catapult, which is a pretty good piece of artillery for defending against the siege. And I really love the Plague Claw catapult. It's one of the better artillery pieces, in my opinion. But mostly what they have is clan rats, which are terrible. They're not as bad as zombie pirate deckhands, but they're pretty bad. They have some sling units. They have gutter runners and night runners, which are a little bit more elite. But still, just like guys with slings. You can see 28 melee attack, 23 melee defense. They don't really have a lot of skill as far as killing goes. They're mostly good good annoyance units, which is not going to be terribly relevant against me because we can just shoot them. Yeah, alright. Let's do this manually. So, honestly, we could probably take the walls as soon as we get to them. The Sirens should be more than capable of getting up there and making it happen. Although a lot of our force is not actually capable of climbing a ladder. Like, the Morngul Haunters can't get up there. Burke is... I think Burke is high enough level that I've put him on a mount, which means he can't get up there. And, unfortunately, there's no way to dismount in battle, which seems like a silly oversight to me. They really ought to implement that, but at the very least, you can choose to dismount him before battle by taking the mount out of his equipment slot. I didn't do that because I wasn't thinking ahead. Maybe should have. Where is he?
Fleet Admiral!
Yes, he is mounted. Okay, so he won't be able to climb the ladder. The Skaven have... Oh, man. They've built their towers all the way out to the walls here. I mean, I guess they didn't build this. This is a Dark Elf settlement, right? Although you can tell the walls have been rebuilt and reinforced in a very Skaven-y way. Let's just haphazardly attach a bunch of wood to everything. So we could try to run up to the pocket here, but I think we actually do want to take a gate. We can have the animated Hulks just beat on the gate for a while the Sirens take the wall around it to try to lessen the tower fire. With our reinforcements coming in over here, it maybe should be the front, this gate? Yeah, alright, we'll just line up and charge the front gate. So let's make our gun line as narrow as possible to avoid fire from the other towers, and we'll march up a little bit to make that more feasible. Sirens in front feels pretty bad. Honestly, I'm going to use these guys in the very front. It's not going to matter, actually. The Sirens are so much faster. that unless I'm very careful about how I do it, they're going to end up leading the charge anyway, and actually I'm fine with that. Remember, Burke does not have any healing, but our reinforcement army has some healing. Right, so let's grab everybody except the mortars and advance on them menacingly. Wait. You two actually probably also want to stay back a little bit. I don't want the full force of the enemy ranged on these guys right away. They can approach after we've already gotten the attention of the enemies a bit. Now, I will say, we're in good shape as far as the tower projectiles go. Skaven have some of the worst tower projectiles. Gotta be careful, because they're so much faster than the rest of my units. You all... Let's see. You can focus here, and you can focus here. Technically, some of these slingers are in this box, so that tower is controlled. Feels a little bit silly. You guys should probably move to like here and then here. I don't want to run across the line of sight of that tower the whole way over. It is cumbersome to run a combined army like this. Okay. Hold up. Now we need to issue some real orders. The Sirens are going to do terrifying things up on the wall. It's got to make sure you get up there. This unit of Sirens is pretending to have been damaged very badly. What a clever ruse they are perpetrating here. You know what? Back up, and let's have you just run forward to cast on them. It seems like they could use it. The enemy is spawning their clan rats in places that don't really make sense. They will immediately be devoured by the Sirens.
With haste.
Alright, let's get the fat dudes banging on the gates. You all could get over here, and hopefully the gunners should be doing something, right? I know that we don't really do a ton of damage when we fire back in this situation, but we could do some. Most importantly, potentially against the Skaven, we could damage their morale. Oh, must be careful with the bloated corpse. If the bloated corpse accidentally runs into the Skaven, he could be a real problem for us. Alright, we need our mortars to meet up with the other mortar crews, which for some reason are running forward. Okay. Stop moving. I didn't think guard mode would be necessary. It's not. They totally have a shot. They've just decided to move forward a lot for actually no reason. Okay, well, let us now turn on guard mode. This, there was a bug for a long time that, that had units running forward, or artillery units running forward for no reason when they very obviously had firing range on their enemies. I thought that was fixed, but maybe not. Gate damage is going pretty quickly. As soon as the gate gives out, we win. Because they have no ability to fight us. Alright, the invocation's doing some work. Okay. Let's do this thing. So they do have clan rat spears, which is annoying. Let's take all of the animated hulks, plus both of the Morngul haunters, plus Burke Black. I guess, honestly, just... Oh, no, wait. Not the Sirens. The Sirens are busy. The unit of Sirens that I ran back here is almost back at full health from that invocation. These guys could probably join us up on the wall. Yeah, the Sirens up on the wall have taken functionally no damage. We've got control of one of the towers. Just got to keep the Overcast Invocation of the Heck running every time it comes off cooldown. They're trying to use magic damage to break up the Sirens, but they don't have the ability to cast often enough to really make good use of it. Right, miscast chance down. Heal. As you might imagine, this part's going okay. The animations are in low frame rate mode so that we can survive the complexity of the battle. Alright, hold on a second. Let us make some decisions regarding these mortars. I want all 4 of the mortar crews to roll forward enough to shoot at those catapults. Let's see if we can just bomb those catapults out real fast. Because nothing else over here is actually a threat to me at this point, and we're going to do more damage to our troops than to the enemy with continued fire. Alright, the Sirens are killing stuff pretty handily. I suppose this is an okay time to shanty. The faster we break through the early part of this wall defense, the better it's going to be for us. Yeah, Invocation of the Heck is a lot of healing. It's a very, very good spell. Because the moment once we've created a little bit of room in here, we just run all of the rifles in, right? And then we send all of the rifles forward into the town square. That's the plan. Everybody get in there. Mortars are working on it. Oh, I forgot to keep running the bloated corpse around. Honestly, I'm not even really sure what I want to do with it. I think probably I just want to run it over here. I've changed my mind. Just disengage from the battle entirely. Both of the Moringals could be helping us fight this this Warlock Engineer. Sadly, their garrison hero is not really a super good fighting hero. Warlock Engineers are basically just wizards. They're wizards with cool backpacks on, functionally. Oh, right, the pistol units did not receive orders to move forward. Rifle units are processing their orders to move forward, but not very quickly. I guess we could be shooting fireballs. I do have a magic fireball ring. Not quite infinite fireballs. It's sort of infinite fireballs. Okay, their lord is almost dead. He's all surrounded by animated hulks and stuff. You know, I don't think we've used these guys as much as they maybe warrant being used. They're not great as far as monster units go. We have cooler stuff. But the fact that they're so easy to summon large groups of early in the game really should have probably factored into our early game more. Some of my gunnery mobs have gotten up on the wall. That's definitely not what I told them to do. The catapult crews have completely disengaged from the battle. I guess shoot at the rat ogres. So rat ogres are potentially scary, monstrous cavalry with like a pretty huge charge bonus. But the problem is they're so fragile that as soon as anything attacks them, they just die. The charge bonus ends up not being worth anything. Alright, you lot, over here, into the zone. The enemies can't even get close to us. As soon as they get within line of sight of my troops, they just break and run. Look at this. I think we're going to see another great show of Skaven bravery here. You can see this. This is the bravery. It's happening right now. Alright, boys. Don't get distracted now. Doing their best not to directly meet our forces in combat. Oh no, hidden foes, look out! Hey, where are you going? That's the wrong way. Combat's this way. Seems like our Mourngulls also have a little bit of a bravery problem sometimes. I'm just gonna have him chase these guys all the way off the map. Let's see if we can redirect a little bit of this mortar fire onto these gutter runners. He is in fact going to chase them all the way just clean off the map. Oh, the animations, for a second there, kicked back over into smooth mode. He seems to have that under control. Yep, don't let those rat ogres boss you around. Okay, we own the town square. They should give up presently. This was not as hard as it could have been.
At your service! Don't stop!
Not sure why the town square's not flipping over to my control, frankly. I have units in it, and for a minute there, they didn't, so it should have been flipping. For my lords, you all get over here. There it is. I don't know if a post-battle cast of Invocation of Knack matters. It probably doesn't. Because otherwise, anytime you had a Lord with a heal, the correct thing to do after battle would be to just stay in the battle and heal over and over again until you ran out of wins. Alright, some good veterancy there. A lot of XP for our troops. Honestly, I wasn't expecting much out of these animated Hulks when we recruited them. I kind of thought it was just filler, but they've been doing an alright job. They're really good against the low-level stuff that these Skaven are able to field, and honestly, they perform pretty well against the Dark Elves as well. I imagine they don't do too well against spears. And Skaven do have actually one of the best polearm units in the game, in my opinion, in the Halberd Stormvermin. Halberd Stormvermin are real solid. But we haven't run into them. Okay, yeah, pretty minor losses. Honestly, not a lot of money. The Skaven just don't have a lot of money, no. Got ourselves a Shrieking Blade, which I don't think is actually terribly valuable, and a Pyrotechnic Compound, which is totally a good weapon for Robin. Peggy. Robin's dead, right. What slot was that? Was it this one? Well, you know what? She is uniquely positioned to make good use of that thing. We'll have... Yeah, like, this is terrible. We'll have him pick up the Fireball Ring. And then, you know what? We should probably have these banners equipped. We should just have banners equipped. Is he... Hold on. He's using an Opal Amulet. I would rather him just have this Talisman of Endurance.
Serve for eternity.
I don't think we're getting a lot of value out of that Tide Call thing, so we'll probably be better off giving her, like, the Black Pearl False Eye. I'm not going to give her a Talisman of Endurance because she spends so little time in melee combat. Like, she spends so little time taking damage. It doesn't seem worth it. But we should give it to our other melee lords. So you're about to get Deadly Onslaught, which is awesome. We're getting very, very close to level 20 over here. Alright, let's talk about the southern armies.
Bones on deck.
No, wait, Robin's not dead. Robin's fine. He's just over here. So Robin has a Talisman of Endurance on already. Oh, Bones McDonald. He needs gear in all of his slots, actually. So, probably some Gambler's Armor would be pretty good. We could give him a Shrieking Blade. I guess we don't really have a lot of other good weapons. He already causes fear, but he doesn't cause terror. Yeah, sure. Terror is pretty useful. It causes enemies to sometimes just, like, lose their mind and run away from you for a second, even if you haven't overwhelmed their leadership, which is pretty cool. That does not leave him with a great... I guess we could pick up the Potion of Foolhardiness. He's immortal. It doesn't seem like a bad idea to have him just run screaming at the enemies every once in a while. And then, man, we have a lot of caster stuff. We've been picking up way more caster loot than anything else. Yeah, that honestly, 15 extra wins in a battle, that seems okay. Alright, let's talk about this nonsense. Do I want to just ride on these guys? I think I probably do.
No, you failed. No, not for us.
Skrulk's army having to come in as reinforcements is pretty good for us. Yeah, let's do it.
Sea dog.
Unfortunately, O'Bones McDonald is going to have to go into march mode to get to the battle. Is a shame.
Move, scum.
I'm pretty sure. I think he's just outside of range.
Reap and sow.
Yep. Okay,
Have
so
at them,
encircle.
Admiral of the fleet.
You to here.
Fight them, Thrall crew.
Alright, let's actually assign all these banners. So, fire damage and weapon damage up. The fire damage isn't going to be particularly relevant here. They don't have anything that is fire vulnerable. But it is also plus 6% weapon damage. Let's put that on Morngul. That's weird that he has a veterancy rank, because that's not how XP works for characters who have levels. So I'm not sure what's happening there. Charge bonus up for the Sirens. They're the only unit in the army that's likely to charge. You know what? Maybe I want to do it. Maybe I want to give him that. I think each unit can only have one banner. We'll give you fire damage. That's a weapon damage, though, not missile damage. Oh, you guys get fire damage. Magic resistance? Sure. Magic resistance for some of our good ranged units. Speed up. Well, the Lord? And then the leadership up. I don't want to give them the leadership up. It seems like Sirens have a lot of leadership problems. Okay, let's do this. Auto-resolve doesn't give us a lot of hope here, but I think we should win. We do have to worry about Warp Lightning Cannons. They actually are pretty dangerous. And then, hopefully, we will have the battle somewhat under control by the time Lord Skrulk's reinforcements are in position to do stuff. Because if we can just charge through Lord Skrulk's army, we could dismantle those artillery pieces pretty quickly. I'm a little worried. There's a chance that this goes horribly awry. Hate all those trees. That's really, really bad for us. The jungle is a bad place for an army that is largely reliant on gunpowder to be fighting. Alright, we'll have to figure this out. They don't really have any range to speak of. They have one unit of good ranged, and then a bunch of guys with slings. 8 is pretty bad. Can we do better than 8? We cannot. And I have to push them. Their artillery is going to be better than mine if we let this battle unfold. We can push Lenny Sealeg's way forward because we're not worried about him dying anymore. Definitely got to have my own mortars all the way at the front line. But basically this is gonna suck. What does the actual terrain look like here? So we have to take this ridge, like, immediately. Once again, we're not going to bother trying to intersperse the ranged in the melee. Going to move this whole thing over a little bit. I guess this army's normal melee troops consist of the Sirens and the Lord. And we're just gonna charge, screaming at them, basically. You want to be with the rest of the ranged, and I guess that's that. That's how the battle starts. So let's see how they set up. Storm Vermin with halberds we want to be careful of. That Warp Lightning Cannon is somewhat vulnerable to a charge from the Haunter. But this is bad, for sure. So we want to have our artillery focused on their Storm Vermin and stuff. Storm Vermin and plague monks and things like that. Storm Vermin are not going to be good against our halberd or our rifle line because they're slow enough due to their armor to not be good at charging, and their armor doesn't help them against the rifles. So we have that going for us, but I have to be careful not to let them catch Lenny. I really wanted to have him just charge forward, but I think we're gonna have to kind of go inward. And then all of the rifles need to get moved up onto the ridge immediately. Honestly, maybe even a little bit further forward than that. What? Somehow managed to just barely click on the one unit of mortars there. Yeah, like all the way up to here, probably. Okay. You two... Oof. You two run forward, you stay with the ranged, and the mortars are doing their thing. Alright, let's go. Alright, we're going to have to micro Lenny around a little bit here. Which is a shame, because we also need to be managing our recruits. Our reinforcements. I'm going to turn guard mode on for them. Alright, let's see if we can screw up the Warp Lightning Cannon real fast. Already half morale. Nothing has happened yet, you huge baby. Okay, all of you need to get up here. We'll figure it out later. Just show up. We need you here desperately. Okay, Skaven Slaves with Spears are anti-large, but they're much worse units. I'm not so afraid of that. And it would be inconvenient to lose Lenny because of the combat strength that he brings, obviously, but also... Oh, hold on, we gotta manage this. They love doing this. They love to spawn their free clan rats in my reinforcements, which is not, I think, actually a good way to do this. They should be spawning them under my artillery. Fools. I might have my sirens on this side try to just... Yeah, you know what? No, not... Sorry. Charge the lightning cannon. And you can run over here and try to help Lenny? I mean, he has a spear. He'll be good at fighting rat ogres. Plague Monk Sensor Bearers should not be particularly good against him. And if we can break down this artillery real quickly, that's probably pretty good for us. We've taken the ridge, and we're still out of shooting range. We probably need to keep advancing. So, as much as I hate moving toward those trees, let's do exactly that. You guys should plan to run in here. You guys should plan to run all the way up there. I don't know what to do. Like, we have such a hard time shooting through trees. But I don't know that we have a lot of options. You have orders. It's a couple of guys in the middle don't yet have move up orders. And Tim also needs to get up here and help. Tim actually needs to get far enough forward to throw grenades. We don't get a lot of use out of our grenades, generally, but this seems like a really good time for them. Right, Lenny's not tearing that artillery crew apart quite as quickly as I would have hoped. That lightning sound you hear is Skaven magics being unleashed upon us.
I know you lie. I'm here.
Try not to get all... whatever. I guess we're fighting these guys now. Alright, you lot. Just start shooting. It's Halberd Storm Vermin right there. Guard mode, do not follow anybody anywhere. What's the most dangerous thing on this side? There's some Night Runners over there. Skaven Slaves. Okay. Night Runners, do not follow anyone anywhere. This seems like an okay time for a map-wide reload skill buff. Let's try to break up these guys as much as possible before these guys get any closer. Their catapults are going to be immediately useful. The Warp Lightning Cannons are definitely in range, but they're going to have a somewhat limited targeting selection, given the hills and the terrain and stuff. And then I think we're going to roll our artillery forward, because I need to get in firing range of theirs. And over here... Everybody have orders? I wish it was like a little more simple to see who has forward movement orders and who doesn't. In a group of units that large, it's pretty hard to tell. Okay, well now everybody does. Can I hit them from here? The spell's a pretty long range. Yeah, let's just throw out a quick invocation. And remember, of course, we're getting a map-wide heal off of that as well. Oh, look at the cowardice! Halberds have decided... Oh, we gotta keep going back for this nonsense. A single unit of Sirens will break these guys down so quickly. Really don't have to devote any other attention to them. Yeah, sorry about the pausing, but there's a lot of stuff happening in a lot of places on this battlefield. I think I'm going to have a bunch of these units, since the halberds are just running away anyway. Actually, you guys can shoot down those rat ogres real fast. That'll reduce some strength. You guys can shoot the plague monks. Lenny can not get distracted by... Oh, there's storm vermin with halberds over here. Actually, those are the primary target. Never mind. Screw the rat ogres. I'm not afraid of rat ogres. I guess, actually, let's have the units on this side shoot the rat ogres. They're not going to be such good shots against the storm vermin. They should have this under control. And then we have a unit of zombie pirates that has been shot by a bunch of artillery and is very torn up. You know, listen, I believe in you. That's what I have for you right now. It's going to be a long time before we can cast again. This is probably not a super helpful thing to do right at this moment. You know what? There are Plague Monk Sensor Bearers in here. They're pretty good fighters. Lowering their melee attack by that much is probably relevant. And we're going to keep an eye on this dude. May as well buff the ranged. He should probably be firing at those guys. And Lenny, man, if you can, get back on that lightning crew. That's what really matters here. We're shooting... Yeah, alright. Things are going the way I want them to go. It's going to be a rough fight. This will be big, though, if we win. A lot of value here.
Fleet Admiral!
Alright, cooldown is 15 seconds once it actually ends. Oof. You know, the enemy is mostly separated from their artillery crews over there. I'm going to have Lenny try to go grab them. They have left an opening here if we can just get out of melee. Alright, so we might need to actually spread these guys out a little bit. Actually, no, I do want you. I don't want you selected. Yeah, fall back and spread out a little bit. You should try to grab these sensor bearers to distract them. You can drop your miscast chance to 0 and fire off a nice overcasted invocation onto all those guys. 2 artillery crews over here who desperately need to actually join the battle. Sirens have this under control. You guys have a proper movement order. Okay. Yep, just real slow. We're all just real slow. Boy, he's lost a lot of health in the last couple of seconds. As soon as he's out of these trees, he's going to be so much faster than they are. Actually, red ogres are pretty fast. Okay, never mind. Turn around, fight. Okay, now they're spawning enemy... Nope, they're still spawning them in incredibly asinine places where they have literally no effect. Well, I'm certainly not complaining. It kind of seems like we might lose, though. All of their units have now entered battle and are perfectly healthy and seeming terrifying, and none of our units are doing anything at all, it feels like. So what have we broken down here? That unit of Night Runners is not actually leaving, it's just this is a temporary retreat. We could try to work over these death globes. They are pretty good. Unfortunately, it looks to me like the terrain is going to be a problem here. Yeah, if I try to shoot at them, what's going to happen in reality is that I'm going to see my units try to run up into melee range to start firing. Let's fall back like this a little bit. Where is Bones? He is right on foot. Well, maybe he'll get here eventually. Yeah, we're actually going to lose this. Sirens are coming in. That's going to help a lot. Changed my mind. You guys have to... We just need artillery fire sort of into the mass of enemies. Their artillery is going to get to do whatever it wants to do as long as it wants to do it. Feel free to throw that grenade any time now. No? No, he's just not going to? Alright, cool. Maybe he's just sitting there, literally doing nothing right at this moment. He's not throwing the grenade, but none of his grenade abilities are available. Throw. Throw it. Man, I wish he would either throw or fail to throw a lot faster. Because we're not able to use the grenade abilities at all this way. Alright, so you guys can fire into that crew. Those guys are just dead. There's nothing that can be done about it. We need to run some sirens over to interrupt them, though, so this doesn't just keep happening. Cast that there. Oh no! They wised up! You guys, get over there and defend the artillery. And over here, we should be getting some good shooting done, I think. Are we? Seems like a lot of my units aren't actually firing their guns ever at all. Look at this huge... There we go. Yep, keep your buffs up. I mean, the fighting over here is going well. This Gunnery White has still just decided... Like, he's just not into grenades. He won't use them, but he also won't... He won't decide that he's definitely not going to use them. Keeping the ability available. Maybe I want to throw them in the future. Who knows? Oof, and they're all blessed with filth, which has given them some stuff. Hey, he finally threw a grenade.
Yes, Captain.
Keep throwing them. Okay. Alright, he's doing something. Give him credit for that. Told him to do something, he's doing something. So we need artillery fire into just the center of the enemy mass. Although it's doing this thing where, like, that's not where the cursor is. Over here. Okay, we are working on those storm vermin. If you guys are firing at those storm vermin, you might want to back up a little bit. Actually, maybe turn and fight these rat ogres, because Lenny's getting manhandled over here. We still have a ton of units that are just on approach. Reinforcement battles are tough for us with all of our stuff being so slow. You guys could fall over to this side, that would be helpful. Full armed depth guard probably have to run this way as well. A Bones McDonald has to run this way. I'm going to try to run him not directly across everybody's line of fire. You lot could maybe really quickly kill all those Death Globe Bombardiers before they fire into us too much. That would be cool. He's getting there. He's getting back. I hate those giant icons that spawn and cover up all of the important information about the unit and then just stay there hanging in the air for a really long time. Okay, we show those Death Globe Bombardiers who's a boss.
Yes, Lord.
Oh, invocations available again. Just keep invoking. Sirens are killing the Plague Monks. We gotta keep shooting into those Plague Monks, buddy. So now they've got a Lord. Oh, not any Lord. Lord Skrulk. We've got a very serious Lord all up in my business over here.
At your service. On your word.
This front is collapsing for them, so that's good. We need to figure out how we're going to put these guys back into play. I kind of want to flank this side's gun line around and start shooting into the back of the big melee ball, but I'm not sure that we have time for that. Because it's going to take them like 10 or 15 minutes to walk around. But I think this is maybe the best play. This will let us get in on those guys. The polearm depth guard probably don't need to be chasing. Like maybe we need to redirect all of the melee troops from this side. Not all of them. Somebody's got to keep giving chase. And Skaven, you know, they break and then come back and break and come back. So we definitely don't want to empty the side out. But some of these melee troops need to do this kind of thing. We'll keep O'Bones over here, I guess, because he's not really very fast anyway. He can fight random garbage enemies. Okay. And the gunners that are coming up over here are actually pretty close. They're pretty close to being useful. That's maybe a little... There we go. How is... Okay. Robin Brown here is hanging tough for the moment. They have a Grey Seer. I mean, he's beating their elite melee, and he's beating them soundly. He's killed a couple units of Plague Monks over here, I think. It's just a matter of keeping him alive. We've almost completely lost this part of the gun line. Getting charged, which is bad. I think we might want to withdraw Tim Fen back up to here where the secondary gun line is going to form. I don't know why these Sirens are having such a problem with Lord Skrulk. He's a caster. Don't you get killed by a wizard in melee combat? Okay. Second line of artillery's coming. Alright, they see what we're doing. They're trying to move their sling units around to do some kind of counter. Lenny's about to fall out of battle, which is a shame, but I kind of want him right where he is for the moment. Shoot Lord Skrulk in his stupid rat face. I shouldn't say that. Rats have adorable faces, but Lord Skrulk's face in particular is stupid. I'm going to throw out an invocation that's probably not going to help us too much in the long run, but I just need, I need somebody to hold for a moment here. Alright, hold up. We gotta start shooting into these incoming enemies. Moving up the rest of the way is not the ideal plan anymore. Olati, just kill these guys. If we can stop these guys on the approach, we can set up the gun line and things can be a lot better. Start throwing grenades, and I swear to God, if you just decide that you're going to stand there and think about the grenade button, you and I are going to have some words, Tim, after this battle. I'm hoping that the height advantage here will mean that we can fire over those units of ours that are currently engaged. See how well that actually works in practice. They just have a wizard back over here. Yeah, alright, we're going to be able to get in on these guys. Deckhand mobs are falling apart. I'm going to send the Sirens all the way back. The Sirens are the only units we have that are fast enough to get over there. Let's hope they don't get too bogged down. Yeah, just keep trying to fight them. They're not very interested in fighting me, it looks like.
Fleet Admiral!
Honestly, Lenny's winning over here. He's killing everything. These ranged units should probably be... yeah, whatever. Okay, and you have another grenade left, so... grenade. Alright, we're getting some good fire in here. Actually, he needs to get closer so that he can buff. Well, this has been a fun, chaotic battle. There we go. Change my mind. You guys have a new set of orders. Let's start having out Lord Skrulk. My dude over here is hanging on. More healing for everyone. And we actually still have a fair amount of Winds of Magic reserves, too. Alright, these Sirens need to actually get out of the way. Or I suppose, actually, we should probably just target a little bit more intelligently. So you go there, you go there. One thing that I think is kind of tricky about using gun units, and it seems to still be happening here, is that it seems like if you don't give them a target they can shoot at, they try to select their own target, which is fine. That's what they should do. But then, if they can't shoot at the target they selected for themselves, they just don't shoot. It's not like, hey, I'm gonna pick whatever is in this area that I can actually hit. It's just they pick one thing, and if that one thing is not available, they just sit there and stare at it until it becomes available. Also, their wizard is all up in my range and messing them up, because wizards, especially Skaven wizards, not awesome fighters, but man oh man, are zombie deckhand mobs bad at melee combat. Pretty much no matter what you've equipped them with. Okay, what's up with my artillery over here? What are we currently shooting at? Yeah, that's actually fine. Actually, could you guys work on these dudes? So those are storm vermin. Could we get a little bit of an attention change? I would love it if we could reform the Sirens over here so as to open up line of sight. There we go, look at that. Now we can get some gunfire in. Oh, I don't have enough to overcast. Alright, just cast on yourself. Just stay alive. Things are going to go horribly awry if you do not. Their artillery is still a problem, and my units that were supposed to be able to get over there and fight it have not been able to do that. These Sirens are just... yeah, we're getting mauled here, and I can't get over to them. They've been doing a really good job of protecting. It looks like we have done some okay damage over here, though. Alright. Oh, that's too much area. All of you guys, make that happen. But Bones McDonald is still just holding down a unit of Clan Rat Spears, which is not a great thing for a for a lord to be doing by himself. Sirens are breaking into these. I mean, these guys don't even have any ammo left. But they're, holding off that whole side of the battle by themselves, so I'm not going to complain too loudly. Alright, we got to get rid of Lord Skrulk. Let's try to get these gunnery mobs. Okay. No, don't move. Shoot. Shoot him. Okay, so we've broken all these mobs down, or all these Skaven units down. You guys should move up and focus on the range. They're still working on us. This is kind of turning in our favor a little bit. I don't want to jinx it. And Lord Skrulk is taking a lot of damage really quickly from all that gunfire. Wonder if I can save them. Some depth guard at this point in the fight are pretty useful. Sirens are doing okay. What's the story with my artillery now? We might want to move these artillery units forward. I guess they still have... Their target is still important. Somehow, one of these handgun mobs is still alive, despite the fact that they've been fighting stuff in hand-to-hand forever. Let this stand as a testament to the strength of Invocation of Nahek, if nothing else. Alright, keep trying to make room. We really, really, really need Skrulk to go down. Because I think their army is starting to suffer some serious morale problems. We can solve this. Also, what is the range on reload? It's pretty long. Is he able to get them from here? No, he'd have to run really far. Is there anything in his immediate area that needs a reload? He cannot reload himself. And actually, the answer to that question is yes, he needs a reload pretty badly. Throw some grenades at those guys. Okay, he broke him. Keep shooting him. Okay, Skrulk is breaking. Skrulk is having some problems. Sirens are doing okay. O'Bones McDonald is still alive. You know what? Can you disengage and just come over here and help? Alright, the Tormentor Sword locks enemies in place when you use it. I'm going to try to just run away from them. Okay, we took out Skrulk. That's good for us. Don't heal yourself, I guess. He's almost out. Look at him. He's so close to breaking free. Get out of there. You are not immortal, and I would love it if you lived. Actually, never mind. Shoot. Kill those guys. I think the overcast is 8. Nope. Actually, these guys. There we go. Alright, great big overcast Invocation of Nahek. Yeah, I mean, I guess fight the crew. Alright, hold up. What's left? We've lost everything over here. We have a lord over here who is currently winning a battle against some guys. I think the Skaven are starting to run out. They're running out of ammunition, too. We may have outlasted them, thanks to the power of Invocation of Nahek. if we win this, it will solely be Invocation of Nahek that did it. Which is pretty great. That's a pretty fun place to be in. And we actually have tons of ammo. Alright, go charge those guys.
Fleet Admiral!
I see this. I see you.
Shamble on!
Run! Don't get killed.
Shamble on!
Oof, one thing they do still have is magic.
Onward!
No, don't. Hey. Just stay within the ball of friendly units.
I'm here! Moving! Oh! Fleet Admiral!
You also need to get back over here.
Order it!
Chance of survival at this point rides solely on our ranged. They have their artillery. They are charging me with their artillery crews. That is the phase of the battle we are currently in. What? All of their artillery crews have seemed to be out of ammo for a really long time, but apparently you can't actually run out of ammunition as Skaven. Just a thing that can't happen. I don't know that we certainly don't want to cast right now, but I don't know that I have time to wait. And casting right now does still secure us another pulse of the Undeath buff. So another little bit of map-wide healing. Got to get all the way back in here.
Not my shooter!
Charge them. Gunpowder! Gunpowder wins the day! Please, please let gunpowder win the day.
Instructions!
We still have artillery ammo, they don't. A lot of their units are breaking permanently. I'm really trying to target the healthy unit, not the unit that's fleeing. Nope. We took one volley of fire at their wizard and he was like, wait a second, why am I running toward the enemy? Okay. Hey, look at that. Hey, look at that, we managed. We lost almost everything. Pyrrhic is the correct word for that victory. So our Mourngul Haunter is immortal. He's just wounded, not dead. Almost all of my actual units are dead. This is going to create one hell of a battle site marker. And, like, these losses don't even add up to all of the dead, because remember, the Skaven had summons. Robin Brown's army is down to 2 units. It's just Robin and Tim who survived. Oh, that was fun. I do like a big battle. Let us observe the aftermath here. I'm really glad we didn't actually lose Robin. I was scared for a while there.
The gods' victory. It's mine.
That is the largest battle site marker I've ever seen. Okay, Lenny's wounded. We got a buff on Robin here. Immune to swamp attrition, public order -5 in local enemy provinces. Immune to swamp attrition might actually be relevant. I had to say, though, that's a pretty soft buff. Does not feel like a great one. Okay, we need somebody to get over to the floating pyramid as quickly as possible. The pool for the battle marker doesn't populate immediately. It takes a couple of turns, I think, to warm up. So unfortunately, we're not going to see that big value immediately. The floating pyramid needs to get rebuilt pretty quickly here. Honestly, that's probably true of the High Sentinel as well. Public order is really ugly right now. The conquest bonus is going to fall away. But they replaced a bunch of my vampiric corruption with their filthy Skaven corruption. That's a problem that's going to take a little while to resolve. Oh, commandment available up in the Broken Lands as well. That's true. Let's go for public order for right now. I don't know. I don't know that it matters too much. So somebody's going to have to run back to Karent and deal with the rebellion. That's a shame.
Admiral of the fleet.
Okay, and then we were going to hire a new lord in Tor Koruali to take advantage of the battle marker. So let's temporarily recruit somebody. Jimbo Sawfish is a wonderful name. I'm not sure that he's the right guy, but a lot of the pirate lords have good names. Samuel Bootsnatcher, he's definitely not hired. Like, my boots where they are, thank you. And this guy's going to be a very temporary hire, so Jimbo Sawfish, with your high loyalty, welcome to the team. And then, what is in this raised dead pool? Oh, you know, stuff. Pretty okay stuff, actually. So he doesn't actually want to raise dead this turn, though. He wants to start on... Oof, there's actually no local buildings. Alright, well, since he has no movement, he doesn't want to recruit anything right now. But next turn, we start the turn by recruiting a ton of stuff, and then we recruit everything from the pool if we have to. And then we march on Mistar. Casualty replenishment rate up, actually, absolutely worth doing. Because our armies in the south need it really badly. Speaking of armies in the south, before we end the turn, we definitely need to start some local recruitment on Robin's army. Obviously, there's going to be raised Deadpool stuff happening as well, but we gotta do this. And then I think we're probably going to sit here for a couple of turns. So let's start pulling stuff in from the global pool as well. We need to replace the lost mortars. And then probably just rifle units. We'll do that. That's our setup for recruitment for the turn. Okay. I think that's good. Then we'll have 10,000 gold to use to pull in raised Deadpool stuff on Ulthuan. We're definitely going to have to just sit here and hold things for a minute. But, oh god, they're running forward with an entire stack already.
Admiral of the fleet.
Fleet captain reporting.
They do not have range to attack my armies. They are going to take the floating pyramid. There's probably nothing I can do about that. Alright, at the risk of making this very long episode even very longer, we're going to run the sequence of enemy turns. I will not fight a battle here. If we get to a battle we can auto-resolve, we'll just auto-resolve, but if they put up a battle that I should fight, we will end the episode there. I don't much like starting the episode with, hey, let's wait 4 minutes while the enemy turns run, though. Let's get through this as much as possible. Do not come over here to wound me. Don't do it. Hinder replenishment is annoying.
You are nothing to the tides.
Felhart wants a peace treaty. I think we can accept his peace. Yeah, that doesn't impede my ability to take back my land or anything. He's not trustworthy, but if this causes him to focus more on local problems, I'm down with that. Underway interception. I elect not to intercept. So he's just going directly for the High Sentinel. Alright, that'll be a fun thing to work out next turn. I mean, we have raised dead money. We're gonna need it. I'm really glad I turned on the replenishment rate buff. We need that as well. This is going to be a couple of very, very harsh turns. Although, honestly, if it leads to a bunch of battles like we just saw there, I'm down. I'm fine with it. Alright, we must know this faction now. I must be able to talk to them. Their agent is within, like, 20 feet of mine. This is probably not... That's not a good understanding of the scale of this map. That's probably not 20 feet. And then we gotta worry about the combined vampire-dwarf army sailing in from the east. Who knows what's gonna happen with that? My guess is they will not reach us. There's a huge wall of green between them and me that they'd have to burrow through. I'm a little worried about that, though. Look at that. The von Karsteins must have, like, 14, 15 armies at least. Because this bar is less than a third yellow. And I have... Well, I guess, actually, I do not have the military strength that I had last turn. Some of my armies have been diminished somewhat. We are showing as overall more powerful than Clan Pestilens, but that's taking all of our armies into account, which we do not actually have available down there. And meanwhile, they do have exactly all of their armies available down there. We really need Silostra down in the south. She needs to get down there and start kicking ass. Because I think we can hold up here. Okay, some minor faction of Dark Elves has gone to war with me. Nothing better to do. I think they're all friends up here, so unfortunately they have nothing else to turn their eyes to. It's a shame. I really like it when there are internecine struggles. That helped speed up the nonsense on Ulthuan a lot. I was kind of hoping that it would be the case with the Dark Elves as well. Because the Dark Elves, like, their whole thing is basically, we're High Elves, but treacherous. An ocean of opportunities. Boy, I just spawned the exotic goods hauler, but we really don't have time for that. Okay, so... I do want that money, though. Alright, one thing at a time. Out of curiosity... Nope. Actually, it looks like it didn't generate a battle site marker. Yeah, there's no icon for it, despite the fact that that was the largest battle that has probably occurred anywhere in the world at any point, or the largest number of deaths in a battle. We just didn't get a marker for it. That's weird. Alright, well, obviously, this is where we need to stop for today, or maybe I should have cut this episode in half, but too late. Too late, I recorded it all, it's all going up. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time when things continue to get worse, probably, for a little while. And we'll see you then.